And I said, we're changing this first annual Governor's Courage Award. From now on, it's going to be the Jimmy Myrick Jr. Courage Award. It's going to be given in his name.
Tonight, breaking news, the scene unfolding as we come on the air where the FBI is right now. Are they zeroing in on a potential bomb suspect? As tonight, new devices surface. This time, one sent to actor Robert De Niro. The NYPD truck racing a suspected bomb down this New York City highway. Former Vice President Joe Biden, 2 suspected bombs addressed to him. And tonight, ABC News now learning federal authorities are now chasing promising leads where additional forces are being deployed right now. We'll take you there live. Also tonight, what all 10 suspected bombs now have in common, each potential explosive with their own clues, and what we've learned about the timer. In other news tonight, bracing for a nor'easter. The system set to move up the East Coast from the Carolinas to D.C., New York to Boston. Dangerous winds and heavy rain expected. After causing an uproar and then her tearful apology, Megyn Kelly was off the air today, a rerun playing instead. Will she return at all after what she said defending blackface on Halloween? The urgent headline involving the flu tonight, already deadly. Here in New York City, a child dying. And tonight, the new drug available in weeks, a single dose, but it does not replace the flu shot. And the family trapped in a minivan that went off the road, the fire erupting, the bystanders who worked furiously to get the family out.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. And we begin tonight with breaking developments. The FBI on the move right now. Sources telling ABC News they have promising leads, directing investigators to South Florida, where those suspected bombs may have been mailed from. We'll take you there live in just a moment. This comes as several more devices have been intercepted in the past 24 hours, 10 now in all. This image of an NYPD truck racing a suspected device to a bomb disposal facility today. The device had been addressed to Robert De Niro. Also today, 2 suspected bombs addressed to former Vice President Joe Biden, discovered at post offices in Delaware after bombs were sent to Hillary Clinton and former President Obama, too, among others. All were intercepted. And take a look at this map. 10 suspected bombs in all sent across the country, all of the recipients critical of the president or have been targeted by President Trump. So let's go to ABC's Victor Oquendo. He's live in Miami because we know additional authorities are being sent into South Florida at this hour. Victor, what do we know so far?
David, for the first time tonight, we're learning of a new focus for investigators. Multiple sources now tell ABC News that federal authorities are chasing promising leads right here in South Florida. Right now, they're sending resources down to investigate. Authorities are trying to figure out whether some of the devices sent to prominent Democrats and others this week were built and possibly sent from here. All those packages had the same return address to South Florida. Right now, investigators don't have a suspect, but they are working around the clock. David?
Victor Oquendo leading us off tonight on the breaking developments. Victor, thank you. This urgent hunt right now comes after a day of discoveries yet again, beginning before the sun even came up in New York City. Sirens and real concern outside yet another location. And word, as I mentioned, Vice President Biden targeted as well. ABC's Gio Benitez with how this all unfolded today.
Before sunrise, this was the scene on the West Side Highway in New York City. A bomb containment vehicle carrying another suspected pipe bomb to a secure facility. Inside that NYPD truck, a potentially deadly device that arrived in a package, this time addressed to Robert De Niro, an outspoken critic of President Trump. Tonight, that all-out manhunt, 4 more bombs discovered in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 10. Late today, the FBI warning.
These devices should be considered dangerous. Report any suspicious package to law enforcement, and it is worth repeating. Do not touch, do not move, do not handle any suspicious or unknown package.
Tonight, we now know how they discovered the bombs sent to De Niro. It turns out the man hired to go through his mail is a retired NYPD detective and had seen the other packages carrying suspected bombs on the news. This package looked just like them, and he called the bomb squad early this morning.
The device was removed successfully. Thank God there were no injuries.
Then at 10:35 this morning, the FBI announcing 2 more devices in Delaware, both addressed to Vice President Joe Biden, a postal worker making the discovery and reporting it to a supervisor.
My first instinct was to get all the employees out of the building safely, and then to, just follow protocol.
The packages all sharing the same characteristics: 6 American flag postage stamps, padded yellow manila envelopes, a pipe bomb-looking device inside. And tonight, law enforcement officials tell ABC News they now believe all 10 suspected pipe bombs went through the U.S. postal system, sent through the mail. And all of them were sent to people critical of President Trump or who were frequent subjects of verbal attacks by the president. At this year's Tony Awards, De Niro took aim at the president.
It's no longer down with Trump, it's Trump.
At the time, the president responding, saying De Niro was a very low IQ individual, too many shots to the head by real boxers. But across the country tonight, a renewed debate over political rhetoric going too far. And last night in Wisconsin, the president condemning what he called political violence.
We want all sides to come together in peace and harmony. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it.
What's unclear is how long the push for harmony will last. 2 years into his presidency, and crowds are still chanting, "Lock her up." This just days ago. But last night, the president saying this.
And by the way, do you see how nice I'm behaving tonight? This is like, have you ever seen this? We're all behaving very well. And hopefully we can keep it that way, right? We're going to keep it that way.
The president overnight. Gio Benitez with us now on the scene in Tribeca where that bomb addressed to Robert De Niro was sent. And authorities are now saying, Gio, that it actually arrived on Tuesday and was just discovered today?
Yeah, that's right, David, because that retired detective, he was watching the news and he recognized that image because on Tuesday, he actually had seen a very similar package when he screened De Niro's mail. He knew who to call. He was a retired detective, so he ended up calling the bomb squad directly. David.
Gio Benitez, our thanks to you tonight. And each of these suspected bombs carried their own clues, all of them under review now at the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia. And tonight, what they have already learned about them, from the digital clocks, the tape holding them together, to the wires. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight.
Tonight, forensic experts are painstakingly dissecting the suspected bombs in an urgent hunt for clues. The digital clocks inside, the pipe used to contain the device, the tape to hold it together, the wires, the suspected explosive powder, and glass used for shrapnel.
They're figuring out where in the United States they would be sold. And what they're doing, the agents are all over the country going to these locations and seeing who bought these products, when, and where they bought them.
Sources tell ABC News the agents are searching for fingerprints on the envelope, even both sides of the tape used on the devices. And from how the wires are twisted, they can tell if the bomber is left or right-handed.
And that's a possible chance for DNA there?
Absolutely. Possible hopes of DNA on the stamps, maybe on the envelope itself, maybe just on the envelope if someone were to sneeze or while they're making the device.
As authorities are chasing those promising leads pointing them to South Florida, investigators are trying to trace the packages back to their original drop-off sites.
There is no question the post office could maybe lead you to the bomber.
But ABC News learning of a challenge. A number of these packages had no originating postmarks.
How complicating a factor or a challenge is that?
Well, it can be. It can be a real problem. You would think they would be able, even without the markings, to then backtrack it where it originally came from. I think it'll take longer, but not impossible.
All right, so let's get to Pierre with us live tonight as well. And Pierre, you reported on those clocks, part of the suspected bombs. What were they? Were they timers?
David, that's a key question. We don't know if these clocks were functionally parts of the devices. That's the key question that will be resolved at the FBI lab in Quantico, David.
So many questions on this still. Pierre Thomas with us live tonight as well. Pierre, thank you. Amid this wave of suspected bombs, President Trump, as you heard a moment ago, calling for unity overnight. I want to bring in our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight. And John, there have been calls for political leaders really in both parties to take down the temperature of the rhetoric. But when it comes to the president, this is what Sarah Sanders said today. You were listening.
There's a big difference between comments made and actions taken. The idea that this is at the hands of the president is absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous that it's at the hands of the president, were her words there at the end. So, John, defending the president there and this call for unity from the president himself last night, how long do you suggest it'll last?
Well, the president's about to embark on his most intensive period of campaigning since he himself was running. We're talking about at least 10 rallies planned for the final week of the campaign. He certainly toned down the rhetoric last night in Wisconsin, but at the same time, neither the president nor any of his top advisors have said there is anything wrong at all with his rhetoric or that it in any way encourages violence. And White House officials say, David, that he will continue to draw sharp distinctions with Democrats. And this morning, he issued a tweet where he had a brand new attack on the media saying, quote, news organizations are bad and hateful beyond description. So the bottom line here is I would not look to the president to be toning down his rhetoric for long.
John Carl live at the White House tonight. John, thank you. We're also tracking a nor'easter taking shape at this hour, all part of the same system, that massive hurricane that slammed ashore, then rain across Texas and the south. Well, now the East Coast is in the path and then threatening the Carolinas, D.C., New York, up through Boston by this weekend. Let's get to meteorologist Rob Marciano timing it out for us tonight. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. October is usually when we get our first real nor'easter of the season, and this one's going to be powered by a strengthening jet stream. Along the Gulf Coast today, check it out, Panama City with its first real rain since Hurricane Michael. Atlanta, Chattanooga, Asheville, you'll get it tonight and tomorrow afternoon. The Carolinas could see some strong to severe thunderstorms as this thing winds up across the mid-Atlantic. By Saturday morning, D.C. to Boston, heavy rain and winds gusting 40-50 miles an hour, strong enough to take down some power lines. David?
It's going to be messy. All right, Rob Marciano with us as well. Thank you, Rob. Next tonight, here new developments for TV anchor Megyn Kelly after causing an uproar for defending blackface and then tearfully delivering that apology. She was off the air today, her show a rerun. And tonight, the network's highest paid anchor is reportedly fighting back. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
Tonight, Megyn Kelly's future at NBC is on the line. This morning's live episode scrapped. Instead, a repeat.
Welcome to the show. I'm Megyn Kelly. Happy Friday.
Kelly's views about blackface have sparked outrage.
But what is racist? Because truly, you do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface on Halloween or a black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween. Like, back when I was a kid, that was okay as long as you were dressing up as like a character.
Even defending the costume of this reality star.
She made her skin look darker than it really is, and people said that that was racist. And I don't know, I thought, like, who doesn't love Diana Ross?
Kelly made a tearful apology.
I defended the idea, saying as long as it was respectful and part of a Halloween costume, it seemed okay. Well, I was wrong, and I am sorry.
And now Kelly is reportedly gearing up to fight back. She's hired an attorney who, according to The Hollywood Reporter, plans to meet with NBC executives Friday and argue NBC is hypocritical because the reality star wore that costume on an NBC sister network. The chairman of NBC condemned Kelly's remarks during a staff town hall, according to Variety, saying there's no place on our air or in this workplace for them. Her Today co-hosts calling her out.
While she apologized to the staff, she owes a bigger apology to folks of color around the country.
Kelly is no stranger to racial controversy. She's expressed regret for these comments on Fox News.
For all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white. Jesus was a white man, too.
Tonight, the career of NBC News' highest paid anchor, with a reported 3-year, $50 million contract, hangs in the balance.
David, even after Kelly's apology, the cast from House of Cards canceled an upcoming appearance on her show. At this point, the plan for Friday is to air a rerun. David?
Lindsay Davis on this again tonight. Thank you, Lindsay. More U.S. troops could be at the border with Mexico as soon as next week. A U.S. official tonight saying Defense Secretary Jim Mattis will deploy some 800 active duty troops there to support Border Patrol, erecting tents or building fences, but not actually patrolling the border themselves. Meantime, that caravan of migrants is about 1,000 miles away. The brutal conditions of the journey, though, forcing several thousand to turn back in recent days. Major headline from Saudi Arabia tonight about the death of Washington Post writer Jamal Khashoggi. The kingdom's attorney general now says it was a premeditated crime. Khashoggi vanished inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul 23 days ago. Saudi Arabia has also lifted the travel ban placed on Khashoggi's son because of his father's dissent, and he's now headed to the United States. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Thursday. The urgent headline involving the flu tonight, already turning deadly. Here in New York City, word of a child dying, and tonight the new drug available in weeks, a single dose, but authorities warn it does not replace the flu shot. We'll get into that in a moment. Also, the frightening bear attack, a father firing warning shots as a mother bear charges right at him regardless of those shots. You'll see what happens next. And then the victims trapped in an SUV that went off the road, the fire erupting. The officer and the bystanders then working furiously to get them out. A lot more news ahead tonight.
This is Stonington, Maine, a town where almost